Either giants played dodgeball in Tonga, or something way more terrifying is happening there. In 2024, Australian geoscientist Martin Kohler from the University of Queensland was conducting a field survey on Tongatapu, searching for signs of ancient tsunamis that once battered the island's coast. As part of a multi-year research project, his team had been analyzing coral boulders along the shoreline, chunks of reef ripped from the sea and thrown onto land by prehistoric wave events. But Maka Lahi wasn't on their radar. It wasn't marked on geological databases, nor was it mentioned in earlier surveys. Kohler only learned about it through conversations with local farmers who had walked past the boulder countless times. They viewed it as a familiar landmark, large, unmoving, silent. That all changed when a scientist laid eyes on it. The sheer scale of Maka Lahi shocked Kohler and his team. They realized this wasn't just another displaced coral boulder. It sat far beyond the known tsunami deposit zones. It was an outlier, an anomaly demanding an explanation. Using GPS mapping, drone photography, and 3D modeling, Kohler's team began analyzing the boulder's size, shape, composition, and location. The limestone matched offshore reef formations, confirming that the rock had once been part of a living coral system. But how did it make its way inland? On April 21, 2025, Kohler and colleagues published their results in the journal Marine Geology. Their conclusion? Maka Lahi was deposited by an immense tsunami around 7,000 years ago. Based on wave modeling, it would have taken a tsunami at least 50 meters, 164 feet, high to dislodge the coral and carry it that far inland. That's the height of a 15-story building. Not a splash, not a surge, a mountain of seawater crashing across the landscape. The energy required to move a 1,300-ton object across slope terrain is hard to fathom. It's the geological equivalent of launching a freight train across a hillside with nothing but brute force. And that's what makes this event so exceptional. To understand what could cause such a catastrophe, we must look beneath Tonga itself. The island sits on the edge of the Tonga Trench, part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. This subduction zone is where the Pacific Plate plunges beneath the Indo-Australian Plate, generating frequent earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and undersea landslides. It's a region under constant stress, where the Earth's crust is bent, twisted, and pressured until it snaps, and when it does, it releases energy equivalent to thousands of nuclear bombs. These forces store enormous energy over centuries, then release it in seconds. A megathrust earthquake or sudden submarine collapse could displace enough water to generate a wave of the scale required to move Maka Lahi. Such events are rare, but when they occur, their power is absolute. They don't just reshape coastlines, they rewrite the very surface of islands. And the Tonga Trench is one of the most active places on the planet for such forces, an underwater fault that has likely caused destruction many times over the millennia, whether witnessed or not. Even more intriguing is the fact that this event appears to have had echoes thousands of kilometers away. Researchers noted that the timing of Maka Lahi's deposition aligns with a massive tsunami event that struck New Zealand's North Island between 7,240 and 6,940 years ago. There, marine sediment and beach sand were found deep inland, evidence of another wave that had violated the natural boundaries of the sea. This raises an astonishing possibility that a single geological event in the South Pacific triggered a chain reaction, sending waves crashing into multiple coastlines from Tonga to New Zealand. If true, Maka Lahi is not just a relic of local geology, it's a sentinel of a prehistoric Pacific-wide disaster. A shared moment of upheaval that stitched together distant islands through sheer geological violence. Fast forward to January 2022. The undersea volcano Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai erupted with one of the most powerful explosions ever recorded. The eruption sent shockwaves around the globe and created a tsunami that reached Japan and Peru. Yet, as destructive as it was, that tsunami was minor compared to what Maka Lahi endured. Still, the D22 eruption was a wake-up call. It showed that the forces which forged Maka Lahi are still present and still active. Tonga, like many Pacific nations, lives on a fault line not just in geology, but in time. The echoes of ancient waves continue to ripple through the present, not in sound, but in risk, in planning, in the urgency to understand what nature is capable of. You might wonder, why care about an old rock? Because these boulders are natural archives. They hold records no parchment can. Unlike ancient myths or eroded texts, they cannot be misinterpreted or mistranslated. Their size, position, and composition are data points. They mark the boundaries of ancient disasters, defining the reach of waves that once towered over the land. And they serve as reminders that the Earth's past isn't buried, it's visible, if we know where to look. That nature's most powerful stories are not always hidden in fault lines or buried in ice cores. They're sometimes sitting silently on a hillside, daring us to ask the right questions. As climate change raises global sea levels and increases storm intensity, the line between extreme and unimaginable narrows. Understanding how far waves once reached may help coastal communities better prepare for those that could come again. Maka Lahi also stands as a symbol of the enduring relationship between people and place. While no formal mythology surrounds it, its presence has always been part of the landscape. For generations, Tongans farmed nearby, fished the surrounding reefs, and likely wondered about the rock's origin. Perhaps ancient songs spoke of a wave that once swallowed the land. Perhaps there was memory, faded now, of a day when the sea rose and never quite receded. Even if that memory is lost, the rock remains. A bridge between oral tradition and geophysical proof. It's humbling to realize that while civilizations rise and fall, the land remembers and tells its stories in the language of geology. The earth whispers its secrets in stone. It leaves behind monuments not made by man, but shaped by fury, silent warnings standing in plain sight. Maka Lahi is one such monument, a frozen moment of chaos, a message delivered by a tsunami that sculpted history in seconds. And though the wave is long gone, the story it left behind is more relevant than ever. And this is just one rock, on one island, in one corner of the earth. There are hundreds, thousands more, clues waiting to be decoded, landscapes waiting to be read like ancient scrolls. If you're ready to hear those stories, if you want to uncover the science hidden in plain sight, subscribe to our channel. Because nature never stops writing, and we're here to translate every word.